Would any of you walk up to a homeless person in the winter and steal their coat from them? You have one coat to keep them warm. As you walk up, look them in the eye, take their coat, and run away. I mean, that's anathema. Nobody would do that. That is just unthinkable. Because you would never, this person that's living on the margins, you would never take their lifeline to survival. But when we recognize global ecology as a thing, that our actions in North America have a discernible effect on the lives of people in Africa, when the carbon emissions that we're putting forth here directly affect the likelihood that a subsistence farmer in Africa is going to be able to harvest a crop sufficient to sustain his family for this year, and the more carbon that we put into the atmosphere, the more likely that he's going to lose his crop. We don't have to look that person in the eye because there's an ocean separating us from them. But the end effect is very similar to taking the coat from a homeless person, right? When we live in such a way that denies the rest of the world the ability to do what they need to do to thrive, then this is an injustice. For every human, Earth is our home. And if we want humans to thrive, we have to make sure that Earth thrives as well. And so when we think about these big, seemingly intractable problems like climate change, one of the relatively new insights of ecology is that the entire globe is one big ecosystem. Probably the newest field of ecology is what we call global ecology, where we recognize that the actions that we make here in North America have discernible effects on the ecology of Africa. Right? Because the atmosphere circulates, because the ocean circulates, none of us is living in a vacuum. If we are concerned, for instance, about social justice, if we start with that, if we're concerned about our neighbor and making sure that they are treated well, equitably, that there's no way to do this without also considering how are we treating creation. Because if we get back to the point that no one can live, no one can thrive without resources coming from the land, it's a relatively easy sell to folks to say you should be concerned about the welfare of your neighbor. But we cannot do that fully unless we also recognize that the way that we interact with creation is also going to have a direct effect on our neighbor. Environmental justice and social justice are not two separate issues, but two sides of the same coin. And we really can't do social justice if we don't understand environmental justice and vice versa. These are integrally intertangled.